Very good morning to everyone. Students, I have given the question answer of chapter number 6 in the last video. I hope you will complete that answer in your fair notebook. And with this, one more thing, that if you are having any doubt in that question, then you can write to me in comment section. I can solve that problem. And one more thing, that I am going to give the project next week, and guideline I will give to you. According to that, you will have to make the project. Because this time you are appearing in class 12, so your project should be according to board level. Not that much low quality projects are not allowed. You have to make the project again if your quality of the project is low. So one more thing is there, that holidays homework will be given to you also next week. Till 1 to 5 your syllabus is there for unit test, and you have to prepare for that one. And if any kind of doubt is there, then you can consult to me in next week. So one by one I'll take your doubts. If you are having something, then you can write in comment section. I can take your doubts in next video, next week on Monday. So let us start chapter number 7. This chapter is law of returns, return to a factor, and returns to a scale. So what are laws of returns and returns to a factor, returns to a scale, which we'll discuss in this chapter. This chapter will discuss production, concept of production, production function, and then we'll discuss here short run and long run production function. These 4 topics we are going to discuss today. So let us start our concept. First topic is there today, concept of production. What is production? So in class 11th also you have read about production. So the study of relationship between the output and the cost of production is known as theory of costs. So while we are discussing about production, then the act of making goods and services, thereby adding utility to the object, is called production in economics. So if you are teaching in a school and getting the salary or job, then it is a production. If you are teaching to your own child, then it is not a production. If your mom is cooking some delicious dishes and supplying in tiffins, then it is a production. But she is making for his own consumption, that is not a production. If you are teaching your brother or sister, then it is not a production, but you are teaching that street children and charging money, that is a production. If lawyer is going for that case, then that is a production. If doctor is taking fee for consulting that patient, then that is a production. So everything, whatever is being either good or services which are having utility to the object, is known as production in economics. So I think so it is clear that while we are adding the utility to the in the form of goods and services, then it is known as production. So what is production? It is clear. Once more time I am rewinding this one, that act of making goods and services. While you are making either goods or services and adding the utility to the object, which may be utility is counted in terms of money. Utility is not measurable, but we are counting in the terms of money, as we have discussed in chapter number 3. Okay, so now we can discuss what is production function. So if we are discussing about production function, that production shows that maximum quantity of commodity that can be produced per unit of time with the given amount of inputs when the best production technique available is used. So what is production function? Production function decides that maximum quantity should be achieved by a producer by using its input in best way or best technique available, then best production should be there. That is known as production function. It is telling the relationship between the factors of production and output. That is known as production function. So what are the factors of production? Already we have discussed in class 11th. I told you that These concepts, basic concepts, you have to remember in class 12th. So production contains important factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So these things plays very important role. So production function is the relationship between the output and the factors of production. So quantity of a commodity produced by a firm depends on different factors of production. So production function may be expressed in the form of table, graph, or algebraic equation. So this is not a matter. In your book on page number 118, two equations are given. So that is also showing the production function. You can go through that one. Now we are going to discuss some important points. Three important points are there about production function that I am going to discuss. So first one is there that production function is expressed with reference to the particular period of time, a day, a month, or both. Inputs and output involve flow expressed as quantities per period of time. So as it is clear by that statement that production is expressed in the terms of time, particular time period is there, maybe a day, a month, a year, and we are taking both, either the input or output. Means in that particular time period, whatever the input and whatever the output. So time period is must for production. Without time period we cannot count about the production. So next one, that it expresses physical relationship because both inputs and outputs are expressed in the terms of physical terms. So whatever the input we are introducing and whatever the output is coming, both are physical one. What is raw material and whatever the output. So both are taking in the physical. Both should be in physical terms. So whatever we are producing, that should be in physical terms. Next one, production function describes a purely technological relation because what can be produced with a given amount of inputs depend on the state of technology. So if outdated technology, then less production. If updated technology, then more production. So three things we have discussed. First one, time period. Second one, physical relation. And third one, what we have discussed, state of technology. So these three things are important to tell about the production function. So if time period is not there, then no possibility of production function, or production function shows time period. Second one, that it is showing physical relationship between that input and output, because input is not there, then output will not be there. And third one, technology. If state of technology is outdated, then low production. If state of technology is updated, then high production is there. So I hope you understood this thing. Now we are going to discuss next topic, that production function is of two types, short run and long run. But before going to the production function, let us go through that production in short run and production in long run. So if you are discussing the production in short run, then short run refers to that period of time during which the amount of some inputs called the fixed factor cannot be changed. So in short run we cannot change all the factors of production, only variable factors we can change, fixed factor is not possible to change. So example we can take that producer wishes to increase the output in short run, and he can do so by using more of variable factors like labor, raw material, and given quantity of fixed factor. Means he can change that raw material, he can change that labors, but he cannot change fixed factor. Fixed factor means that machines which are being used, plant he cannot change. So it shows that in short run fixed plant period is there, or we cannot change the plant, we cannot change the fixed factor, only variable factors can be changed. What variable factors are changed? Maybe that input, or maybe that labors. So these two factors can be changed only in long run. So now we can move for, so I by mistake I have said so long run, so that was short run. Next we are going to discuss about long run. So what is long run? It is defined as that time period during which all the factors of production can be carried and there are no fixed factors. Means, as we have discussed in short run, that plant and technology cannot be changed, but here all the things can be changed, and already we have discussed in previous chapter then that in long run normal price prevails. It means that technology and that plants, everything can be changed. New factory, new building, or whatever that new production unit is possible in long run. Why? Because all the variable factors, all that fixed factors can be changed. So long run is also known as return to a scale, and short run is known as return to a factor. So why it is known as return to a scale, we'll discuss afterwards, because a separate topic is there. So here we are discussing only that specific calendar period such as month or year, and it is rather based on possibility of input adjustment, such as short period varies among industries, but long period may be at least 3 years, 5 years, more than that. So in that much time all that factors of production may be changed. So we have to keep in mind, in short run we can change variable factors, in long run we can change fixed factor as well as variable factor, and we can change as we want, or we can get the desired output by long run, but we cannot get desired output by short run because we cannot change all the factors of production. So I hope you understood. Now we are going to discuss about types of production function. So production functions are of two types: short run production function and long run production function. So let us go for the statement. A short run production function refers to the situation when only one input is variable and all the other inputs are assumed to be constant. So as I have discussed in microeconomics, we are discussing rest of the things are constant, and the relationship between two commodities or two quantities we are discussing. So in short run we are considering all the factors are fixed beside variable factor means labors. So here we are assuming that all the factors are fixed beside one, and what is that? That is labor. So whatever the change will be there in the production due to that labor, that is considered as short run production function. So the behavior of output when only one input is changed and other inputs are fixed in the term is known as a return to a factor. As I told you, what is return to a factor? Means when only one factor we are changing, and due to that factor change in production, that condition is known as return to a factor. So short run production function is also known as returns to a factor. So production function is also a subject matter of laws of variable proportion, on what the classical economists have named it laws of returns. So laws of returns to a factor, that is also the part of law of variable proportion. So I hope so you understood one, what that in short run production change due to one variable factor and other factors may be fixed, and that variable factor is considered as labor and other factors are fixed. No other factors is going to be changed. So relationship between one variable input, it is considered as labor, and the output is known as short run production function. So I hope you understood this concept. Now we are going to discuss about return to a scale or long run production function. So let us go through the statement first. That long run production function studies changes in output when all inputs used in the production of a commodity are changed simultaneously and in the same proportion. So as I have told you that in long run we can change all the factors of production, so that relationship between that output and that all the factors of production in long run is known as long run production function. So for example we can say so that in long run means more than 3 years, if a producer is willing to change that scale of production, then he can change, and this condition is known as return to a scale. Why it is known as return to a scale? Already I have explained that here all the factors can be changed, either the variable or fixed. While in the shortened production function, we have said or we have discussed that only one variable factor, that is labor, can be changed and rest of the functions are fixed. But here all the factors, either the fixed or variable, can be changed. New machine, new plants, new input, new labor, everything is possible in long run production. So that's why it is known as return to a scale, not return to a factor. Not one factor is being changed, all the factors can be changed. That's why it is known as return to a factor. So I hope you understood today's concept. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.